Good afternoon, everyone. Beth Turman here in the VDURA booth at SC25 with my illustrious panel of women for our inaugural Women in HPC panel discussion. We are thrilled that these women are here. I have known many of them for some a short period of time, some a longer period of time. And we're going to roll through some questions this afternoon that are hopefully valuable to all of you. And then we're going to have our audience ask a few questions at the end. Now I'm going to introduce the panel. Lindsay, would you like to start?
Sure. Hi, I am Lindsay Fox, Senior Director of Research Services, Facilitation and Outreach at Vanderbilt University, part of the Advanced Computing Center for Research and Education. Mouthful to say, oversee the services that get created at Vanderbilt to support our research community.
Thank you, Lindsay.
I'm Melissa Fratkin. I am now at the Barcelona Supercomputing Center in the Education and Outreach Group, Education and Training, sorry. And I am the co-founder, or was the co-founder, of the Texas Women in HPC organization in Austin.
Hi, Rebecca Leonard, and I lead a team of AI and HPC infrastructure specialists at Dell Federal.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Leroux. I'm the head of high performance computing at BP, so I lead our team of HPC engineers and application developers.
Hi, I'm Holly Newman. I'm a global account manager for NVIDIA.
So are we ready to launch in?
Let's do it.
All right. Okay, should I pick on you or should we'll go down the row?
We
should alternate.
I think we should alternate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spice it up. Just throw it out there.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Catch us off guard.
Here we go. We have 5 questions. Let's see how many we get through. Okay, for our first question, how did each of you first get into HPC? Was it by design or by happy accident? Who'd like to start? Lindsay, you want to give it a roll?
I can.
Take it away.
I would say definitely a happy accident. In no way did I ever think in a million years I would be in research computing supporting HPC at Vanderbilt University. I came out of undergrad in, I don't want to say the year, but the year was the year of no jobs. And so I went right back into grad school. I came out in 2011 and I had a degree in geology and I wasn't quite sure what I was doing. I had spent a lot of time doing and supporting research in my grad student tenure. So that summer I left, I applied for jobs like crazy. I was 1 week out of leaving to go gold prospecting in Elko, Nevada. And I got a call from Vanderbilt that a research group was going to hire me to do research for their transportation group. So I started there in civil engineering, worked a couple of years, got some research experience, moved into the library supporting, and then applied on a whim to this job for an IT consultant for research IT at Vanderbilt. And in my opinion, I felt I was totally unqualified. I mean, I don't know, I rolled the dice and I got the job and the rest is history. I've been at Acre now since 2018 and I have gone through the ranks and now help oversee part of our mission. So it was definitely an accident.
Can you tell people what Acre is?
So Acre is the research computing unit for Vanderbilt. And it's the Advanced Computing Center for Research and Education. So,
okay. Yeah. Makes sense. Acre. Vanderbilt.
Yes,
okay.
Research computing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Gold, digging for gold.
Digging for gold.
You can always go back to that.
Maybe.
I mean,
the price is high right now.
Mine's a little stranger. I'm in HPC because my mom was in HPC. I majored in Spanish. I went to got Ditto. See, yes. Okay. I got an MBA in internet marketing. And then I graduated in May of 2001 and all the .coms had gone bust in March. So that was kind of useless. And my mother was the Washington director for the Coalition for Academic Scientific Computation, which is a national organization of academic supercomputing centers at research universities, including Vanderbilt, I believe. And so she needed help. So I worked for her. And I ended up at the High Performance Computing Group project at the Council on Competitiveness, and then got recruited to the University of Texas at Austin to start the Industry Partners program there, which is how I met Elizabeth and Beth. And just 6 months ago, my husband and I decided that we needed something different, and we moved to Barcelona, and I'm doing education and training at the Barcelona Supercomputing Center. So definitely happy accident. I don't want to say nepotism, but I'm here.
Pretty fun.
Pretty fun. I mean, if you're going to do it, it's a fun way to do it.
I feel like you completely get to claim nepotism because how many women have
Yes.
mothers?
And
that
there
were
are
in
very few, especially
scientific
mother-daughter
Yes.
teams here. Yes, I know of one other. That's it. So,
You get to claim it.
yes, proudly.
We're going to have to add that as another question. What did your mother do? We'll do that on our next panel next year. Take it away, Rebecca.
Absolutely happy accident. I was, like Melissa, a foreign language undergrad major. I majored in Russian and Spanish, had zero plans to get into IT. This was back in 1996 when Windows for Workgroups 3.11 came out, and I had randomly a sorority sister that worked for a training company and needed to fill positions. And I trained the Coast Guard on Windows 3.11.
3.7?
3.11, Windows for Workgroups. Yes, that was a while ago. And it was a happy accident that I got into that, and then I got into system administration, and just a few years ago got into the design of HPC systems. And once you're exposed to one, you get the bug. It's stuck. It's stuck.
Cool. I'm starting to think nobody gets into HPC by design. Because obviously, happy accident for me as well. I started off way back going into university. I was looking for a degree in physics, and the university I went to had these joint major programs, and I was looking through the list of them, and geophysics sounded really cool and interesting. So I chose that one, not really knowing what I was getting into. I did a bachelor's degree in physics and geophysics, and then a PhD in geophysics, and ended up working for BP right after that. They found me at a conference. They were looking for somebody with my skills, and so I joined their research subsurface imaging group. I worked there in that same group for about 13 years, was a very heavy user of our HPC systems in BP. So knew the HPC group very well. We collaborated with them quite often. And then when my predecessor, the head of HPC, retired 5 years ago, they were looking for somebody who knew why we do HPC. And it just seemed like a logical choice, I think, to bring someone in who had experience using the system. So it was a huge learning curve to come in and lead a group of HPC specialists. And I'm still learning every day, but it's been exciting.
She's good at corralling people.
You got to, yeah.
All right,
So-
Holly, you're up.
I'm also a happy accident. I maybe not as much so, but definitely didn't think HPC. I was a business major, but information systems. So I thought I'd be on the system admin side. So I did start my career as a desktop technician and worked my way up to a director. There was an opportunity to move over to the research arm of the healthcare organization I was with, and it was new at the time. And I said, I'll do it. I'll go figure it out. And I think that's a common thread. We all like to figure it out. And so got to go over there, stand up their first HPC cluster. And then took a journey. My family made a move. And so I went over to the sales side and got to work with my teams in a consultative manner. I'd built it. I'd done it. I'd lived it. I understood budget. I understood kind of all the things that go into running a center, and understood when they said, we want to move forward, but just not yet. So, and then now at NVIDIA, I get to work with teams to adopt AI technology. So that's my journey.
What is one mistake that you've made in your career and what did you learn from it? Who wants to start? Or I'm going to pick on you. Da, da, da. I'm going to Holly. Are you going to do it?
I'll start.
Oh, Elizabeth's going to step up.
So, I thought really hard about this question.
I did too.
Honestly, I think the mistake I've made as a leader, as a people leader in my organization, was was letting issues fester. And if you leave disagreements, issues between people, whatever it is, if you don't deal with it as it comes up, for whatever reason, I don't like conflict, I don't want to upset people, I don't want to have to do that, right? So, but quickly learn that yes, when things pop up, they quickly can snowball into huge issues if you don't take the time to be uncomfortable and deal with it up front.
Absolutely would second that.
Lindsay, you want to take it next?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably not trusting my gut more. I think we tend to second guess ourselves if I can speak on behalf of women. I feel like myself, at least, I tend to second guess some decision making, and I think a lot of time your gut is on track, and listening to that is important. So that's what I'm gonna stick with for my answer. Yeah.
Melissa, you want to go next?
Mine was more not looking at the calendar issue. So I was planning a really large meeting for an organization that has since gotten much bigger, and put it on the calendar. And the last day of the meeting was Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the Jewish calendar.
Oh, no.
Oh.
And I am Jewish, and
Oh.
my mother nearly killed me. And it was on me then that the organization had to go back to the hotel in San Francisco, which was not inexpensive, and back everything up a day to not end on Yom Kippur, which cost a great deal of money. So I learned to look at the calendar and look at everybody's holidays before planning anything.
Even your own.
Even my own, especially my own, apparently. So, yes.
That's actually a really good one. That's
It's
somewhat
it
unique.
makes you think. Yes.
With the added pressure.
With the added pressure of my mother. Yes. My Jewish mother getting on my nerves. Yes.
I think that's important in our companies. A lot of them are going global now, and so we have people based in various different countries who have different holidays, and it's really hard to coordinate time zones and holidays and all of that, right?
And I'm learning that in Spain too, because now there's a holiday for everything. There's every saint has a day off, and each region has a different day, and the country has different holidays, and so I don't get July 4th or Thanksgiving or the day after Thanksgiving, but I get all these other saints days that are just sort of randomly interspersed throughout the calendar. It's like, okay, I'll take that. That's fine.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And you learn about saints,
That's
maybe
right.
that you didn't know about.
That I had no idea about.
All right, Rebecca, are we going to put you on the spot?
I would agree a bit with Elizabeth. So I think probably my longest lasting mistake is not being direct enough in my communication. I was raised in a household in an environment that was sort of, you always need to be pleasant, you need to be nice, that's the expectation. And I have found out the hard way that if you are not very direct from the beginning, like Elizabeth mentioned, things can snowball quickly. And there was one instance I can recall that also, like Melissa, ended up costing a bit of money because I was not direct enough in the beginning to nip that in the bud. And the other stakeholders took that as an opening. So that's something I continued to grow into.
Feeling confident in your communication, your knowledge, and then your ability to deliver that message.
And it's okay to say no.
Oh,
Yes.
That's
huge.
a good one.
Oh, we all need to learn that.
Huge. We probably should have asked, I think, does everybody here have children?
Well,
Yeah. You have people that
I have a step.
Yep. Yeah. But I think that as a mother, it's really hard to say no. And I think it's hard to say no at work too, a lot of the time. It's a really good one. All right, Holly, you're up. Mistake question.
To dovetail there, is setting boundaries early. I wanted to do well. I wanted to please everyone. I wanted to be the yes person, but there's only 24 hours in the day and you have to be a person. And so for me, it became apparent pretty early on that I had taken on a lot. And so being able to not second guess myself and say, this is more than one person should handle, right? Yes, I can do it, but at what cost? So for me, it's been truly learning that balance and the boundary. And it's always changing, right? It's not the same every week. It's not the same every day or even every year. It kind of depends on where you are. But true for me, it was, things kind of didn't get done the way I would like them to get done because I'd taken on too much, right? So that was a hard lesson. It wasn't up to my standard. So for me, it was setting boundaries, learning how to set boundaries.
What advice would you give to women early in their careers who want to make their voices heard in technical environments? It's got a little twist to it. All right, who wants to take that one first?
We're all looking at each other. Nobody
Rebecca?
I didn't see the technical twist.
That's one question with which I have struggled because I did not originally come from a technical background. And I would say that it is incredibly important to stay curious and to have a continuous learning mindset. So as I started to come up through the technical world, I made sure that I would take local community college classes or online certifications or just extra books to read, podcasts, etc., as those came out later on. And I always set a goal for myself each year about what additional education or learning I'm going to embark upon for that year, whether that's a particular topic or a type of certification, etc. And just never be afraid to be the least intelligent person in the room, because you can soak up so much from everyone around you. It's really an invaluable place to be if you're willing to put yourself in, to be comfortable in that situation.
And that's really good advice. It's about the credibility question, and we all were early in our careers. It's not the loudest person, and you always felt like you had to be the smartest person in the room, although you still had a viewpoint. So I like your answer on that one. You want to go, Lindsay?
Yeah, I think it dovetails onto that. I think it's okay to say you don't know something. I don't think we have to have every answer. And you have a team of experts working with you that you can lean on. Anytime you're not valuing your team members in a way where you can lean on them in absence of maybe a depth of knowledge on something, that's when you get into terrible territory. That's not good territory to get into. So being able to say, hey, I don't know, but I'm a constant lifelong learner. I'm always going to go research it later, and I'm never going to stop. But I'm okay with admitting when I don't know something.
Yeah, I think that's hard for people. And I think that's not just a woman thing.
Yeah.
Although, and we can talk about that. That'll be another question for another time. We're going to table some of this. All right, Melissa, I know you're chomping at the bit.
No, I actually went to a private all-girls high school. And so there was no, you don't know it. There were girls that were way smarter than you who were going to end up kicking your butt. So you had to know it. But there was none of that, oh, I have to pretend I'm stupid because there are boys here and I don't want them to think I'm smarter than they are. We were smarter than they were and we knew it. The women I went to high school with are building bridges, in the Army and directing Hollywood movies, but they're also teachers and professors, and you can't be intimidated by that. And I think some of that led me to just not be intimidated, and you have to be, as women, you have to be nice because otherwise you get labeled as something you don't want to be called, but just don't be intimidated, and it's hard, but You walk in the room and you know that's the imposter monster coming out, right? Don't be intimidated. You're there for a reason. Say the thing you need to say. And if you don't know, say you don't know, but you're there for a reason.
That's well said.
It resonates.
I feel like the younger generation gives me hope in that regard. I feel, for example, my daughter's generation, they're a lot more confident in walking into a room in themselves and their capabilities. So I have a lot of faith in the younger generation.
Your daughter learned from you.
Well,
It's good parenting.
yeah, absolutely.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, this is a tricky one because in my experience, it was, you have to have that confidence. And for me, at least, building up that confidence only came with years of experience. And so, I was never really comfortable speaking about something if I wasn't 100% sure that it was right. And so there's been a lot of activity in the diversity space now to try and understand how people work. Are you someone who needs to collect your thoughts before you speak, or are you someone who is comfortable just letting it all out, right? And there are plenty of those, either category in the world. So you have to know yourself, know your level of confidence, and work towards it. It's not something that's easy and something you have to work towards.
Very true. I agree with everybody. This is great. All right, Holly, going for the close.
So my big one was meet people where they are, right? For me, I was often the only my first 3 roles. I think at the physician or at the hospital, I was the only female on the team, right? I mean, we've all been there, but no one cared how much I knew until they knew how much I cared. If that makes sense. And so I really tried. If there were people that got in early, I'd bring in donuts. Or if there were people that stayed late, I'd stay late and we'd, go get a coffee. Really trying to build a relationship that I was curious, right? That I wanted, maybe I was really good at this part, but I didn't really understand this. So could you help me there? And then it became a partnership. And then I took that into leadership as well. Some people don't like to work early, or some people don't like to work late. And if you have that flexibility, they have more ownership in it. And then that allowed me to meet them where they were, right? Just making sure that everyone's not at the same spot and everyone doesn't have the same goals. And that was really hard for me to understand at first. But if you can find something common that you're all working toward, it's that corral factor, right? We're all working toward the greater good of something. So for me, it was just truly meeting people where they were. That's my biggest advice.
What's one nugget of advice you'd like to give to anyone listening? Yeah, you go for it.
She's
Rebecca.
already
I
there.
do,
She's already there.
and I can take zero credit for this. There is a woman named Corey Stanley who works for Discover Financial Services, and she leads an engineering team. And I met her at a Women in Technology event many years ago, and this has always stuck with me because of that imposter syndrome that we can sometimes feel. When she is in a meeting and doesn't understand, or it isn't clear what somebody has said, she will say, "I didn't understand that. Would you please explain it in a different way?" Because then it puts the onus on the other person. It gives them the responsibility of communicating in a way that other people can understand. And I have used that, and I have it literally written on a Post-it note under my monitor on my desk, and I look at it every day. So Corey Stanley, Discover Financial Services. She has no idea I'm mentioning this.
The impact. Maybe
But and
she'll
what the
see this.
impact,
She'll see this
what the
and she'll
impact
know.
of that has been. So I've always loved that.
Well, and I think, we as women, we say things, and we may not even know the impact that we're making with what we're saying to others. So I think from an advice, that kind of goes 2 ways. She said that to you, it made an impact on you, And all of us here, what we have to say is important, and, know that people may take something that you say and really run with it. Because I think that's a good reminder. I like it. All right, Holly, you gonna go?
I would say go for it. I think there's a lot of opportunities I wish I would have taken. And so my one nugget would be, if you're interested at all, there is no harm in a conversation, right? Just finding out more, right? And maybe it would be right, maybe it wouldn't, but that's my one thing, is go for it.
All right, Elizabeth.
I would say take the time to understand the purpose of what you're doing. If you're going into a meeting with leaders, don't go in with all the in-depth technical detail. Give them the impact statement, the business value, that kind of stuff. If you're having a conversation with a team member who's having an issue, know what your role is. Are you there to support? Are you there to help? Just take that time to understand why you're doing what you're doing.
Know your audience.
Know your audience, exactly.
That's always good advice.
Yeah.
I think. Melissa, you want to go? You're good at advice.
And my mind went blank. I think my nugget is the thing I was saying before, is you're there for a reason, right? My friend AJ Lauer wrote a great little children's book about the imposter monster, because it's not a syndrome. The imposter, everyone feels it. And it's this little monster who's trying to keep you safe by telling you things that it doesn't think you should be doing. And so you should make friends with your imposter monster and be willing and be brave to go out there and do the things, knowing that the monster is not necessarily there to stop you. It's just to make sure you know what you're doing and to go forward with purpose, right? Don't be afraid just because it's everyone feels it, but the little imposter monster is just there to keep you safe.
Language matters.
Language matters.
That
It's not a
switch.
syndrome. It's a little monster that's trying to keep you safe. And that, I think about that all the time, the imposter monster. She wrote a great little children's book.
Well, we may have to do a book review on that.
Absolutely.
It obviously translates into adult work life.
Absolutely. That's what it's for. I mean, it's not really a children's book, but yeah,
That's neat.
it's a cartoon.
All right, Lindsay, you're up.
It's easy. I can follow on off of everything you all have said. Shoot the shot. Apply for the job. Do the thing. You never know. You never know. I never thought in a million years I'd be sitting here. Just apply. Even if you think you're underqualified, do it. I mean, within reason.
Within reason. I mean, there are statistics about women not applying for jobs because they don't have 100% of the qualifications.
They let the imposter monster take over.
Men will apply if they have 60% of it or 40% of it and they think they can learn the rest. Women are like, I don't want to waste the hiring manager's time, so I'm not going to apply because I don't know. Do it.
I agree.
Apply for the job.
Do it. Apply for the job.
Do
Try
it.
the thing. Move to Spain.
Move to Spain.
Good example.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah.
My
You
advice,
have to answer too. You haven't answered any of these.
always be prepared to laugh at yourself. Don't take yourself too seriously.
True.
And that kind of feeds into the, I'm prepared for the meeting. I thought I was prepared for the meeting. Or, we need to go, well, I messed that one up, but we're going to do better next time. Just be ready to be flexible and laugh at yourself. I think we don't always do that. And that's for everybody. So, anyway.
What? I think have fun goes along with it too.
Have fun.
At your job.
Yeah.
I mean, look what we're doing here. We're all here because we love doing this. And hopefully everybody who's watching will get a little bit inspired to go take a chance, to not be, be prepared, but don't be concerned necessarily about what other people think. And anyway, this is fun.
When it comes to AI in the workforce, how can women make sure that they make an impact? And how can we kind of work with that environment?
How can women be more helpful in that AI environment of today? And I know some of us discussed this already, but who wants to take that one? How can we make more impact and be more helpful?
I think that's another one where you don't be afraid of it, right? The keynote speaker we had today, and I just spent an hour and a half with him in his book club discussions, was talking about, go out and test it, right? Play with it, learn what it's for, teach yourself something, try something in AI, have it write a code for you, have it, ask a question. Don't, go writing your papers or your sermons with it or anything, but, test it out, make it work for you, learn how it works, so that then when someone wants to know about it, then you can, or you get into a discussion, you have some history, some experience with it, and the way you were saying, you try a new thing every year, try a new thing with AI, just test the different things that are out there, right? Don't let it get too far ahead of you.
That's good. Would you like me to repeat the question?
Oh, similar, right? Use it. I think right now is using it so we understand, right? We may have a different viewpoint, or I think sometimes one of our greatest assets is that we listen. And so as I hear my kids use it, I hear my husband use it, I see what they're trying to do with it. Does this make sense? Are we enabling someone? Are we making this harder? How is it working for me or against me? What does that mean? And then how do you bring it into the home and the workforce and school? I've got one in college. What does this mean for them? Because it's new, right? So I think the biggest thing is to learn and try.
Usually the only woman in the room, how do you go about establishing and building credibility and trust with your team?
Did you guys get that one? As a woman, how do you create?
As the only woman in the room,
Yeah.
which is the key
Yeah,
part of
actually,
that question.
How do you be credible and create trust? Trust. That's a great question. Who would like to take that one?
I'll take that one. We talk a lot about psychological safety, and how do you make an environment and your team psychologically safe, and a lot of it is demonstrating the behaviors you want to see. And so being open, being honest, being able to admit when you don't know something, or being able to ask people questions and come down or come to their level or their point of view. I think all of that works to create that trust in that environment. And I think women especially are good at that kind of thing. So,
Holly, you want to take that one too?
I think it goes back to don't second guess yourself, right? If you have something to add, right? I mean, and then also listen. A lot of times people, similar to what I said last time too, you might hear something different, right? Sometimes people are really, really focused, in an engineering environment, some people are very focused on what they know, and so that's what they hear. But they didn't hear the whole problem, they didn't hear the solution, or they didn't hear the ask sometimes too, right? So I think really just speak up when your turn, but also listen.
That's really good. Do we have time for one more? All right.
If listeners were to only take one thing away from this conversation, what should it be?
If listeners remember only one thing from this conversation, what should it be?
you're not alone.
Find your squad.
Yes.
Find
Go for
find
it.
your board
Just
of
do
Yes,
directors.
go for it.
Yes, and
Do
support
it.
each other.
And build the relationship. If no one else is willing to do it, just do it.
I think it's key. And it's so fun. I know each of you, and now you all know each other. So
Because of you.
Take it, of
Thank you,
course.
Thank
But
you.
taking advantage of opportunities to introduce people who don't know each other and how can they help one another. And, I'm hoping that the audience who listens to this will LinkedIn connect with us and ask us questions, say, when are you going to do another one of these? What would you like to hear? What would you like us to cover? And I think another thing too, Melissa is so reinforcing the women in HPC organization across the globe. I think everybody needs to go sign up and get involved. Create a local chapter where you live, like Miss Julia did in Pittsburgh. There's just so many opportunities to get involved and meet people and make a difference. So advice, everybody get involved. Let's all go out and make a difference. Thank you.